Imagine you're on your couch, thumbing through a digital platform for connections. Swipe right, match, dopamine hit. You're holding a database of thousands of people in your palm. Yet, you're rotting alone on a Friday night. Your only hot date tonight is with an incognito tab, a box of tissues, and, well, a bottle of lotion. Now, look at one of our ancient ancestors. 40,000 years ago, no Wi-Fi, no filters. He lived in a tight-knit band of about 20, but to find a mate, he couldn't just look around his campfire. To prevent inbreeding, our ancestors built vast regional networks. Once or twice a year, hundreds of these scattered bands traveled for weeks to gather at massive prehistoric megasites. This was the original Stone Age method of finding partners.
A giant festival of thousands of people where you had to dance, trade, and look someone in the eye to get a match.
To secure a bond, he had to trek through freezing terrain, facing real physical danger just to show up. And yet, they were building bonds so strong they survived the Ice Age. To understand why you're struggling today, we have to look at how we actually... It wasn't a romantic movie. It was a high-stakes game. Social drama, biological warfare, and brutal competition. In the ancient tribe, a woman wasn't looking for a vibe. She was a biological supercomputer scanning for mate quality and survival traits. And don't picture women just waiting passively in caves. Modern archaeology reveals that nearly half of big game hunters back then were actually women. In the wild, a partner who struggled to secure resources wasn't just boring, he was a death sentence. She wasn't looking for a savior.
She was scanning for an equal partner who wouldn't drag the team down.
This is why costly signaling was everything. Imagine a man walking into the circle of firelight,
wearing a pendant carved from the teeth of an apex predator. This wasn't jewelry. It was a proof of work certificate. To get those teeth, he didn't fight a beast alone. That would be suicide. He had to demonstrate elite coordination, tracking a massive predator alongside his hunting party, risking his life, and executing a flawless strategy. That pendant was a message. I can provide, and I can protect. It was an unfakeable signal of genetic and social fitness. You couldn't just buy status back then. You had to bleed for it. Now, how did men compete? It wasn't through DMs. It was through intense physical... If you liked the same girl as the guy in the next hut, you didn't just compete by being nicer. You competed by showing value to the community.
You volunteered for the most dangerous position during the mammoth hunt. You proved your endurance in tribal rituals right in front of everyone.
Ancient dating was a 24/7 reality show. And the losers didn't just get blocked. They faced social marginalization,
risking the ultimate evolutionary penalty, a genetic dead end. Don't be fooled, the tribe was a pressure cooker of drama. Sexual jealousy wasn't just a toxic trait. It was an evolutionary guardrail. In a world of scarce resources, partners had to be fiercely protective of each other's investment.
If a man shifted his hunting yields or a woman shifted her care to someone else, it meant their offspring might face severe hardship. Every look, every shared laugh around the fire
was monitored by 40 other people. You couldn't ghost someone when you had to share a roasted gazelle leg with them the next morning.
Your reputation was your only currency, and one bad move could get you exiled, which, in the Stone Age, was just a slow way to say dead.
But when a couple did match, their brains took over to ensure the survival of the species. This is the chemistry of pair bonding. That's a 40,000-year-old cocktail of dopamine, oxytocin, and vasopressin flooding your system. In the wild, love was a drug designed to fuse two people together long enough to raise a helpless human infant, which takes years. Our ancestors didn't stay together because of a marriage license. They stayed together because their nervous systems were literally hardwired through shared trauma and physical presence.
You can download trust, and you can't like your way into deep attachment. The problem? Your brain is an Ice Age machine living in a 5G world.
In the tribe, mate selection was slow, public, and high cost. Today, it's fast, private, and zero cost. We've uncoupled the bond from the effort, and nowhere is this mismatch more obvious than on modern dating apps.
Let's look at how these platforms actually work. Apps like Tinder or Hinge are run by corporations that answer to shareholders.
Their primary metric is daily active usage and time spent on the app. Scientifically, these platforms are designed around a psychological concept called a variable ratio schedule.
The exact same mechanism that makes slot machines addictive. You swipe, and occasionally, you get a match.
A tiny hit of dopamine, But most of the time, you get nothing. If an app perfectly matched you with your lifelong partner on day one, they would lose 2 paying users. The algorithm is biologically and financially incentivized to keep you searching, not finding. It exploits our primal desire for choice by presenting an infinite scroll, tricking our ancient brains into believing a better mate is always just one swipe away. Evolutionary psychologists call this breaking Dunbar's number. Human brains are only hardwired to manage a social circle of about 150 people. When you open an app and expose your prehistoric mind to a digital catalog of thousands, your brain short-circuits. It lapses into choice paralysis. You think you have infinite options, but you end up with 0 connection. Because of this, we are experiencing a massive evolutionary mismatch. Women are still biologically scanning for those signals of security and capability, but men are faking them with leased cars and edited photos. Men are still wired for competition, but they're venting it through video games instead of building actual real-world status. We are mating with pixels, while our ancient hardware is screaming for something real. You aren't lonely because the apps are bad. You're lonely because you're trying to satisfy a primitive brain with a frictionless artificial signal. The mechanism hasn't changed. Women still want security and strength, not just muscles, but social, emotional, and mental power. Men still need to prove they are an asset to the tribe. If you want to win in 2026, stop acting like a digital ghost. Show up when it's inconvenient. Say the honest, awkward thing instead of the safe, cool line.
Put your phone face down.